I want you to close your eyes momentarily and think about your favorite game. It could be your current favorite, one that's your all-time favorite, or just something you treasure from past experiences like your childhood. Mobile game, console game, PC game, it could even be on a battery-powered handheld. It could be anything. Got it in mind? Now, I can almost guarantee you that's not the same game that I'm thinking of right now. In fact, I'm so confident you can open up your eyes now and look at the gameplay on screen. Some of you may be wondering what you're looking at. Well, this game is The Dishwasher Vampire's Smile, a game developed by Scott Studios, a sequel to the game The Dishwasher Dead Samurai, and one of my all-time favorite games. I used to play it all the time on my Xbox and even made a semi-decent video talking about it when I first came back to YouTube. But going back, our personal favorites were different, and I'm sure that every other viewer watching this probably thought of something different as well. If you did match mine, hell yeah. But if you didn't, that's perfectly fine too. Everyone's tastes are different, which is something I'm sure you've heard in some fashion countless times, and this is 100% true. And when it comes to video games, it's no different. Video games have become a massive medium of entertainment over the years. Through the platform of video games, people are not just able to experience whole worlds and stories, but take part in them and experience them firsthand. Games where you travel across a ruined world, delivering packages to individuals, to a game where you're the son of the god of the underworld and are trying to escape to the surface and see your mother, to a game where you're just a little alligator playing around on an island and solving quests to convince your sister to come to play with you. Some games are even so massive that huge studios drop millions of dollars to create them that many will hold true to be an unforgettable experience. Obvious ones like 2022's Elden Ring and God of War Ragnarok are a testament to this, as both games were hyped up for everything they are and delivered experiences that many will never forget. But with just as many people excited for the next huge AAA title, there are those that are looking forward to the next indie title or even mobile game. And that's fine. Some people don't want the huge adventure or the in-depth and tear-jerking story. Sometimes something just as simple as connecting blocks on their phone is just enough for them. There are games out there that pretty much scratch any niche. There are visual novels, action games that always reset when you die, simulator games, role-playing games, multiplayer games, survival games, fighting games, shooting games, fishing? This one's a boat! And I'm barely scraping the surface of what's out there. You just have to look for it. And honestly, that can be quite daunting with how many games there are. And sometimes you just miss and are like, it's not for me. With those big blockbuster hits like Elden Ring and God of War Ragnarok being as massive as they are, as hyped up as they are, as loved as they are, you may not really be into it. You can look at them, recognize they're great, and although it isn't for you, there are those who genuinely like these games. But just because it's not your cup of tea, that doesn't mean your tastes are poor. It just means they're different. When it comes to finding what you like, reviews are a good place to go and hear what people think. But all reviews should be taken with a grain of salt, but of course do look for patterns amongst them. If you go and look at the scores for No Straight Roads, you'll probably become very wary if you're looking to get the game. But if you went to look at the scores for Elden Ring, you may go and straight up buy the game with no second thoughts. Based on these scores, you'd think you'd love the higher rated one more. But this wasn't the case for me. I didn't really care for Elden Ring, and I loved No Straight Roads. And I can recognize how great the game objectively is, but it doesn't matter how amazing a game is supposed to be. If you don't like it, you don't like it. If the majority opinion for the game is positive, it doesn't mean that it will be the same for you. Everyone's tastes are different, and at the end of the day, a video game is supposed to be fun and enjoyable for the one playing it. If it isn't, then why bother? Some people do this for different reasons, but this fact still holds true. I, for one, love video games, and if you didn't already know that, hi, I'm CrossVee, and welcome to the channel. My love for games spans across many genres, but there are games that even I personally just don't care for or like, and I'm sure the same goes for you. I can't fathom the idea of people genuinely having fun in League of Legends anymore, but there are many people, even close friends of mine, who really like the game and want to play it. I think League of Legends is a massively flawed game that is a shell of its former self, but that doesn't change the fact that there are people who do like it and have fun. Believe it or not, I was one of the few people who genuinely liked No Man's Sky's Day 1 version. I found it fun and enjoyable, but from an objective standpoint, I shouldn't have. The same goes for those who enjoy Cyberpunk 2077. Many people are disappointed or even hate the game outright, and their opinions are justified. But for what the game is, there are people who do enjoy it. Look at Pokemon Violet and Scarlet and even Pokemon Legends Arceus. Both games that should have failed because of their technical issues and even poor graphics. But people love them nonetheless, including myself. Yes, it's important to be objective and critical when it comes to looking at games, but if you enjoy it, what's wrong with that? At the end of the day, there are games for everyone, and I know we just went all over, but to answer the question stated in the title of this video, are video games for everyone? Yeah. There's something for everyone, and of course tastes change, but I'm sure there's something else out there for you to enjoy. What about those that don't like or want to play video games as a whole? Sure, I guess you got me there. But for those who actively and sometimes passively play games on your PC, console, phone, TV, or what have you, it doesn't matter your platform. The time you have to play video games, whether you're more casual or competitive, prefer solo or multiplayer experiences, or even idle experiences, there's something for you. Just as my favorite game is the Dishwasher Vampire Smile.
My favorite game is Pokemon Violet.
My favorite game is Hunt Showdown.
My favorite game is Kingdom Hearts 1 Final Max.
My favorite game is Darkest Dungeon.
My favorite game is Bloodborne.
My favorite game is Sly 2 Band of Thieves.
My favorite game is Fire Emblem Echoes Shadows of Valencia.
My favorite game is Drawn to Life for the DS.
My favorite game is Minecraft.
My favorite game is Destiny 2.
My favorite game is Hades.
My favorite video game is Mega Man X.
My favorite game is Metal Gear Solid.
My favorite game is Portal 2.
My favorite game is Neo The World Ends With You.
My favorite game is Monster Hunter World Iceborne.
My favorite game is Outer Wilds.
My favorite game would have to be Cyberpunk 2077.
There's a game out there waiting for you to become your favorite.